Polarium, this is a problem. Hello everyone, Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here, and it doesn't really matter what account we are on. There's been some stuff that came up recently that I really do want to talk about, and this is not going to be a very long video, but I am going to rant on this subject, as it were. We are going to talk about balance, we are going to talk about pay to win, and we are going to talk about a particular deal. Many of you guys may already know what deal I'm talking about, but I want to actually talk about this just to make sure that Polarium understands how bad this is if they let this continue. I don't have my own copy of this image, so I grabbed this off of Reddit, thanks to whoever posted this. And as you can see, this is in euros. I do USD stuff. And this is, of course, my free-to-play account, where I don't remember if I was even offered this on my main. I've not been spending a ton, but this is honestly pretty ridiculous, and I think one of the most dangerous things that Polarium has done. There's always been a delicate balance between spenders and free-to-play players. And yes, spenders are going to have advantages. Sometimes it's going to be in the fact that they have leeway to make events. They can certainly spend their way to winning different events. They can get better champions. They can get better gear faster. A lot of it is development speed. And I certainly understand that's, I think, where they're trying to come through with this. The difference is that the relic economy has been really, really bad for quite a long time. And they just kicked it into high gear very recently with upgrades to the Cursed City, where you can actually get some of these 4-star basalts, ways to earn them in Chimera, and where, you know, there's now a chance for you to upgrade a relic from 4-star to 5-star simply with basalt once every few months now, as opposed to, in many cases, many players only had one single relic that was a plus 15 because it had taken them that long to save up to get enough relics to sacrifice to get up to that level 16. And I think that is a massive problem. I understand that they've sped it up. The fact that it is accessible for most players is fine. And when I say most players, I understand there's a lot of players that cannot do very well in hard Cursed City, so they're not going to get these things. I understand that. I realize that that could be a problem, but it is still progress. And in many ways, it is progress that is forcing younger accounts to push their way further and further into the game to get some of these really cool top level things. But there are still more basalt in the game right now and ways to earn it than there have been ever before. That's great for everybody. That's going to help the relics be a little bit easier to manage, a little bit easier to grow. It'll be less painful to maybe feed a few of them because you won't have to feed as many of them, and you won't have to worry about deciding whether or not you want to feed some of your legendary relics if you happen to get a few of them, or if you're just going to have to sit on them because they are too good to give up on. And it's a interesting and fun, I guess, balance. But it's been frustrating for a lot of people because the relics can go all the way to plus 18, and I don't think anybody in the game has gotten a relic to plus 18, at least before this offer came out. This offer, where you can see you can buy 4 basalt for, you know, 30 euro, well, 24 euro, 30 US dollars. It was, I've seen the packs as high as 6 of them for 60, I believe, dollars. I don't remember the exact conversion factors either, but regardless, being able to buy 3 packs of 4 to 6 basalt is 3 of these relics at level 5. Just being able to do that will give you enough to possibly just spend your way to having something that's at max, or a ton of relics at plus 15, which is problematic. It is problematic with the balance of the game when spenders already have a huge advantage. One of the few things that Polarium has done is there's always been a couple of things that have been gated behind time and never been allowed to be spent for. That is things like protection gear and stone skin gear. That is things such as lethal gear. That is Some of the other 9-piece sets that we have been given have never been offered for sale. Glyphs have almost never been on sale. And I say almost never because there's two exceptions. Apparently, very early on, they offered a haste glyph pack, and everybody, including spenders, says that was a horrible idea, and they stopped doing it. The other way they do offer them is they do actually have in the Forge Pass. In the Forge Pass, you can get a couple of 6-star and some 5-star glyphs and a couple of 4-star glyphs too. But the difference is that is a once a month, if not once every 5 to 6 week pass. And I think it only gives you 4 total 6-star glyphs, and they're not always speed glyphs. So they're not always the best and most desirable glyphs. It's only giving you 2 of them. So you're not breaking the bank for that. Plus, at $20 and then a little bit of gameplay, you're not charging an arm and a leg for it. Whereas this one here, yeah, so that's 23 euros. So we'll just say that's $30. So that's $90, and I can get 3 relics to plus 15 pretty easily. That's a huge account swing for a lot of players, but $90 is certainly not a reachable figure for a lot of spenders, let alone on something that niche. Whereas the Forge Pass gives you a bunch of really cool and usable stuff, including, ways to, get more speed on the stuff you forge. It gives you forge materials, so you don't have to basically farm arena constantly. There's all kinds of things that the Forge Pass does for you that are good overall for your account and make it a good value in general, while also not being super expensive. It's one of the better values in Raid, if you want to say there's a value in Raid. So this is just something that is a very slippery slope. If they keep on having these packs available, what's going to happen is you're going to have the haves and you're going to have the have-nots, and relics are going to be one of the big, big key points of that, because relics are free stats. So suddenly these people are getting better stats, but also a higher level relic gives you a higher chance to have whatever the relic ability is proc, or to have a better relic ability. So suddenly there is another advantage on top of that. On top of the fact that people that spend these money already are more likely to have a +2, +3, +4 champion, and or already likely to have a better soul because they can just buy a ton of souls and pull a ton of souls. There's already so many advantages spenders can get in the game. I don't think that giving relics an opportunity to be monetized is a good way to deal with it. We got the Relic Pass already, and if it weren't for the fact the Relic Pass was absolute trash for the money that they were offering, I would start to be upset with that and think that that's a slippery slope. This is a step too far. Emporium, you need to pull this back. Obviously, you can't take this back at this point in time because you've now sold these things, but I want to never see this again. This is something that is going to spell doom for Raid if they continue to sell this sort of stuff. There are certain things that Plarium has done a good job of not selling too much of. Basalt generally was one of them up until today, or I guess a couple days ago, as it were. Glyphs, as I mentioned beforehand, there's things that you just can't sell a ton of that Plarium kind of holds off on. And they understand that there's some level of balance where making certain things rare for absolutely everybody helps balance the game overall. If this was just a PvE game, then, I'd have a lot less problem with it. If you want to spend money on a PvE game and just dominate the environmental stuff because you're spending a ton of money, that's great. That I have no problem with. But with PvP in here, with competitions, with tournaments against other people, these type of things lead to direct competition, and direct competition oftentimes the players have very little control over because Plarium hasn't done a great job with matchmaking, and they are getting better, but they haven't done a great job with matchmaking yet. So it's really kind of hard to trust them with matchmaking. And now when people can simply buy their way to level 15, level 18 relics, well, that is just another barrier for an entry-level player who wants to play free-to-play to get to any level of competence in areas of the game where there is competition. So Plarium, just stop it. This is something that I have yet to see anybody in the community say was a great idea, even if the people bought it. In fact, I know people that bought it because I know spenders, and I know there are people that have been looking for this type of thing. And to be fair, I understand a lot of young accounts have had to buy something like this to sort of catch up a bit if they're spender accounts that are trying to catch up and get into high-end competition. I still don't think that this is a great thing you should be doing for everybody. I think it's honestly a mistake if they continue to offer these relic upgrade packs like this. So Polarium, don't make that mistake. Let's keep making Raid Shadow Legends a fun game to play. Make it as balanced as you can make a game that has some pay-to-win elements into it. And let's, try to make sure that we continue to make the game accessible for people that are new or low spend, because those are going to keep your whales that are spending involved in the game as well. So, hey guys, what do you think about this pack? Let me know down below. I just wanted to make a quick video on it. I don't know how quick this is. I've rambled a little bit, but that's how I do it. And appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing, and despite Polarium doing stuff like this, you guys are an amazing, amazing community, and I really do appreciate all you guys. Much love. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and, I'll have some more videos out the next couple of days. I do daily raid content. I generally don't dive into too controversial stuff. I am generally more of a guide dude. I like to help you make your account better so you can have more fun playing Raid Shadow Legends. So, appreciate you guys. Much love. And until the next video, I am Bront, CatHerder.